What is up, guys? It's Bankrupt Dope back with another video, and today we are back on verse 1999. Now we got to talk about Sotheby and a Knight. Now I just need to go out and make it very clear. I was recently under the impression that you could not fail 50-50 because you could only get Sotheby or a Knight. That's what I was thinking after my summoning session. But apparently, that's not true. Because there are other 6 stars in the game. Sorry, I'm a little congested right now. I just woke up. There are other 6 stars in the game. So therefore, you can fail the 50-50. Guys, you can see it here. That's 5 out of 5. And then, like, there's the base copy. Then there's 5 more. And then Sotheby. Guys, I have not failed the 50-50 yet. I have pulled the banner unit every time. I pull a Knight after 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 a Knight. I have not failed the 50-50 yet, so I was able to max him out quite easily. But this video is to talk about who should you be summoning for, Sotheby or a Knight. But before we get into that, I hope you're having a good day today. And if you're not having a good day, I hope the day gets better. You already know the drill. Now, go and take it back over to the summoning banner. So let's go ahead and break these banners down. These are 2 different kinds of play styles and fit different parts of the game in a way, this truth be told, at the same time. The Sotheby banner here, the 1 gram of curiosity Sotheby banner over here, this entire thing, this is a debuff damage kind of team if you were to build a team with these 3 characters in mind. Sotheby, let's just go ahead and go straight and start reading her straight up so we can go straight in. Sotheby. So her ult does a mass attack that deals 350% reality damage to all enemies and activates poison and cure status immediately. So poison does damage, it just diminishes at the end of the round. It takes Genesis damage based on the caster's attack and can stack. So however many poison things you have thrown on the enemy with her cards, and then you hit her ult, all that will trigger when the ult hits. And then cure. When our round starts, restore HP based on the caster's attack. That's that. Then she has the debuff, which is the poison that we were just talking about. On base, it does 80% reality damage to 2 enemies, inflicts poisons for 2 rounds, and then the multiplier is attack times 30% for the casual attack, and then Genesis damage. We'll just get straight to the last one because the middle one doesn't really matter. It is 200% reality damage, so it does a lot more damage because the 80% is quite weak, but if you get it level 3, it does a good amount of damage. Might even be able to kill somebody who's low. It inflicts poison for 5 rounds. And then when the round ends, it deals the caster's attack times 30% Genesis damage. So 2 rounds, 5 rounds. So you get level 3, you activate that. And if the enemy is like a boss or something like that, you're pretty much not having to click the poison for a while. But they can stack. So it doesn't hurt to throw more on because it does stack. You know what I'm saying? So yes, having this on is good. But if you feel like the ult, you can throw more poison on and the damage will stack. And then the health. Concentrated essence. Mass healing heals the whole team. Gives all allies 2 rounds of cure. And when the round starts, HP plus the caster's attack times 50%. So, once again, attack does still matter for her because she still scales off of attack. That's how much health she's giving out. And then over here, it's just the attack times 125%. So yes, attack does matter for Sotheby. It makes her healing more potent. It's HP plus. Okay, like their wording is very strange. So yeah, no, if you just read when the round starts, restores HP based on the caster's attack. Straight up. There's no attack. If attack is low, you're not healing much. If attack is high, you're healing a whole bunch. Now, that's what Sotheby does. Let's move on. Charlie. Charlie's ult. Mass attack that dispels all stats up, post status, and counter statuses from all enemies and then deals 300% mental damage to them. So she dispels all buffs and counter. And does poison mean, does pause stats mean poison? I'm not 100% sure what pause means. Can you click it and figure it out? No, you can't. I'm not 100% sure if it means poison or means something else. But most buffs get dispelled by her. Oh, I can tell you that much. Which is very good. and counters. So it's like if you do it, you're dispelling. If they have attack ups and counters on them, you're dispelling all of that. Maybe pause status means like things like concealment and things like that, like because you become invulnerable to damage and all that. Maybe it might be meaning that. I'm not 100% sure, but I can say it dispels most buffs. And there are some bosses that give them stats up and they give themselves a counter, and she dispels all that with ult to every enemy on the field. Her attack targets one person, 100%, 80% damage if the caster. So if Charlie is in it, stats up or pose. So pose is not poison. I can't tell you what pose means right now. It's too early in the morning. It's a type of stat up. It does 40% more mental damage, and then it's just higher damage at level 3. Nothing changes. See, it's just higher stats. That's all it is from 1 to 3. Her other attacking move: one target, 100% 80 damage, mental damage. If the caster's HP is below 50%, and then it deals 60% more damage. And then at level 3, 450%, 450% mental damage. Still 50 below 50, right? Did not change. And then 150% more mental damage. So she does damage. Her attacks do damage. If she's buffed, she does more damage. If her health is low, she does more damage. If the enemy has buffs, she takes them off with her ult. So she wants to debuff the enemy with her ult. If they have, not even debuff, she wants to strip their buffs with her ult, give herself buffs, and have herself be at mid range, and that's where she's probably going to shred enemies. I don't have her max. I'm not sure how she works, but she probably shreds enemies in the damage department when you meet those requirements. And then X. X has a great ult, but if I'm not mistaken, there is another lower tier character that has ult way better than his, period. So mass attack deals 250% reality damage and Moxie -2 to all enemies. That's great. But if I'm not mistaken, there is a character in this game that can do -4 Moxie. And then something else, like it has a bonus status if the person's Moxie isn't reduced, like they can't gain Moxie. There is one that has a better ult status than what he does. But this is not bad at all because his stats are, I'm sure, just higher, because I think it's a 4 or 3 star that does that. I can't tell you for sure, but there's somebody else that has a higher Moxie reduction than him. That's his ult. Attack does 200% reality damage. When you level it up, it gets better. So here's 2 and 3 star for his attack are better than the 1 star. His 1 star is useless. You want the 2 or 3 star because it targets one person. It's 400% reality damage. We're not really caring about that, but it dispels all the stats up and pause statuses from the target. Does not dispel counter. But if they have any other buffs on them, that is getting dispelled. It is getting dispelled. So it makes it a lot more worth it if you can get the star for this. We'll get to that later. And then attack. It says coffee or tea. 100% or 200% reality damage. Base. That's all it does. Then if you get a 2 or 3 star, it now dispels counter. So theoretically, if you had both of those and you're fighting a boss and you don't have Charlie's ult, for example, but you have this teapot and you have this anode and cathode, you're going to activate this first to dispel the counter, and then you're going to activate this to take off their buffs. You're not going to do it the other way, because if you do it the other way, you're going to get hit by a counter and it could kill you, depending on how strong the enemy is. So you're going to do it the other way, get rid of the counter and then get rid of the buffs and have somebody else going after that. Get it? And then even this, maybe if you want to take off, they have their ult, you want to take off their ult, you can do everything with X. You can take counter, you can take off buff, and you can take off their ult all in one fell swoop if you have all the cards in your hand. So yes, these are utility characters right here. They are great for what they do. They are great debuffers. But let's get back over to Sotheby really quick. We have to talk about Sotheby. Her healing, great. But you can run into a problem. Most people will be at this because I rushed this game and I still cannot use Sotheby to her full effectiveness. We get into the insight levels. So first off, at insight, when you get an extra round of poison, great. But what we care about is insight 3. Before concentrated essence inflicts cure status, the cure status is on all allies takes effect immediately. Guys, that is massive. You don't know why that's massive? Because that means that you heal when you click the button. When your cards activate, you heal. Sotheby will get you murdered because her heal activates after the turn. If your health is low, you do not have your ult, and you're fighting a decently strong enemy and your health is low, you're going to die before you can heal. Her Insight 3 takes that away and keep you alive. But there's a but here. You have to get to Insight 3. So immediately, it's tough. But, we're lingering. Let's go ahead and go over to the next banner. Let's talk about the next banner before we go ahead and break it down for real. I know it's taking a while, but I want you guys to hear everything about the featured units and get a full scope of what they do and how they work and then their future. Makes it the 5-star of the future. We're not talking about the banner. We talk about the banner news, but we talk about that slightly. Let's go over to Unknight really fast. Let's go ahead and get into his banner and talk about him. This is a DPS build, period. Debuff DPS on the other side, straight DPS on this side. Mass attack deals 400% reality damage to all enemies. If any target is defeated, it inflicts 1 stack of rousing morale on all allies. When the caster attacks, their damage bonus plus 50%. So, if every person he kills, you get 1 stack of rousing morale and you get a damage bonus. Simple as that. Nothing more, nothing less. Up to 150%. So you can get 150% damage bonus if you kill the whole wave, go in the next wave. And there's a new set of enemies, you get 100% damage bonus for the rest of your team. Simple as that. Attack. If it deals 180% reality damage, if it kills, 1 Moxie. And then if you get level 3, 450% reality damage, 3 Moxie if you kill. Very, very, very strong because this hits hard. And if an enemy is below half or lower, you're probably going to activate this. And if you get the kill, you get plus 3 Moxie. It is a very, very good attack. Because you're getting the Moxie for activating, you're getting the Moxie for the kill, so you get 4 Moxie. Very, very good ability. And lastly, Mass Attack deals 150% reality damage to 2 enemies. Very bad in base. Mass Attack deals 225% reality damage to 2 enemies. Moxie plus 2 for self upon activating this attack. Very good. He is a Moxie machine if you pull his cards. If you're like me, RNG doesn't like you because it is still randomly generated. RNG doesn't like me, and I can skip multiple turns without getting only 1 Unknight card and getting everybody else's, and therefore I do no damage because Unknight is my main damage dealer, and without him, we're just looking at the enemy, looking at each other, doing nothing. Cornbloom. You see Cornbloom on my team. I think Cornbloom is very, very good. Why? You're about to find out. So debuff burst damage control. That is exactly the perfect way to describe Cornbloom. So, targets 1 attack, deals 550% reality damage, and inflicts seal for 3 turns. If the target is immune to seal, the Moxie -2 for the target instead. It is a great ability. So if they have their ult, you activate it, you -2 Moxie. If they can resist that, did I say that backwards? No, you seal them. If you can't seal them, you just take the Moxie away from them. So no matter what, they're not doing their ult. It's a great ability and it does a whole bunch of damage. It's very good. Attack. Mass attack deals 135% reality damage to 2 enemies. If the target is in stats down, neg status, or control, it deals 30% more damage. Final one, more stats. That's it. It is just more stats. Debuff. Mass debuff. It hits everybody on the field. All enemies suffer reality defense, -50%, and damage taken, plus 50%, lasts for 2 turns. If you max it out, higher stats. These all work very well together. You activate the debuff into the attack or into the ult. No matter what, they take more damage. This obliterates their health bar. And this obliterates the health bar even more. And if they dare have Moxie or an ult lined up, they don't anymore. But we're gonna go into this later. We're gonna get further into this later. Then you have Tenet. I have not gotten to use Tenet yet. Shield debuff DPS. Tenet's ult. One target attack deals 500% reality damage and then gains 2 stacks of diamond bullet. After the caster attacks, reality defense minus 30% to the target for 2 rounds. Reality defense, keep that in mind. There's 200 reality damage, simple. 500 reality damage, simple. Just damage. One big damage attack. Rivaling Cornbloom's ult attack. Maybe. Because Cornbloom attacks multiple times. I'm not sure how many times this attack. I'm not sure how that actually correlates with the percentages. I'm not sure if it's like Cornbloom attacks 3 different times doing 500% or if it's just in total 500% in one attack. I'm not sure how that works, but this is a high number. Because it's just a single attack with no subs. It's a strong hitting attack. Then a buff. Mass buff gives all allies a shield with the caster attack times 200% in HP for 1 round. Damage taken minus 20% while the shield is active. Very, very good. Base. Damage taken minus 20%. Yeah, so damage taken is whatever it is. The better part of this is the shield. The shield is based off attack, and the higher the card, the higher the shield. And that is this thing. A DPS team. But you remember when I said, think about that reality, right? There's something that you'll notice on this banner. All of these characters do reality damage. So if you use Cornbloom's debuff on the enemy to take reality damage. What's your name? I forgot this character's name already. Tenant's buff. Not buff there. Where's the buff? Here. Shredding the reality defense with the ult. And then you go into a night, guys, like there's a lot of reality damage. Like this is a pure DPS team right there. Like, this is truly, this team here is a true, you can make a team out of these 3 and live and do a whole bunch of DPS. Especially depending on how you have these built. If you have, the higher you have these people, the less damage you're going to take. You can outlive this game on damage right now. Current banner summoning for the game at the current exact moment, I'm going to say it's this banner. This banner with these 3 characters will get you further than this banner with these 3 characters. These 3 will die. And you know what? Let me not say that. I take that back. They won't die. I know this team can power through anything. Sotheby's interesting. I think Sotheby will outlive everybody on this banner. Maybe minus this one here. A Tenant. Maybe not Tenant. Because Tenant does have versatility as in damage reduction, and giving a debuff. Tenant might outlive everyone. A Knight might be the fastest one to drop off. Even though he is a Moxie machine. That's all he is. He's Moxie and damage. Outside of that, he's not doing much. He's a damage dealer. And everybody knows how in almost every game, damage dealers are the first one to go. Because there's going to be better damage dealers. There's going to be the fact that you're not type. The thing is, he's type neutral on almost everything in this game. He's not type advantage. For most things, he's type neutral. Now, granted, you're still going to shred with type neutral. But it would be better, it'd be nice if he was type advantage, because then he'd really destroy. Which I guess is why they didn't do that. It's a very smart tactic. But it is what it is. He still destroys everything anyway. So I guess it doesn't really matter. Sotheby, you get her to inside 3. Her healing, her damage, everything's going to skyrocket because her poison's going to do a whole bunch of damage. You're going to be healing for a lot. You're going to heal instantly and after round. Sotheby becomes a lot better at inside 3. I think she's going to outlive everyone because she's going to do damage. She can still do damage and she's going to heal you. I think that's a timeless pair along with the debuffers in her banner. These people prevent the enemies from absolutely obliterating you. They are great. I think they all work well. Both banners work well together. I keep clicking the back button. They both work well together. If you are like me, you like damage numbers. Granted, I also like debuffing. I am a mixture of both, but you don't have the resources to do everything. You might find yourself going for a Knight's banner. I know it's late. I'm sorry. I know I'm doing this later. I know I am. But you might find yourself summoning for a Knight's banner and getting his people, and you can blitz this game. Granted, my Knight is maxed out. But even before I had him maxed out, he did make the game easier where I was immediately with his damage. Damage, like you'll find yourself lacking damage for the most part. And damage helps you. Even if your teammates die on the battlefield, having a strong damage dealer is going to be very helpful. Why? One more thing before we go. I know this video's long, guys. I'm sorry. I just really want to cover as much as I can. I don't want to make a half-baked video that's not good. The artificial event. I'm not going to say that other word. Somnambulism. Here, guys, this thing right here is difficult. And I was trying to see how many people could be put to sleep. Here, you need... Do they have it to tell you? You need at least one character that's going to do damage. Or two. Why? Once you complete a stage and you go into the next stage, once you get past a certain mark, you can only retain 2 characters, correct? After that, you will then only be able to retain 1 character. The rest of your characters are put to sleep. And if you have a hyper carry, you're fine. If you don't have a carry, you die. You will not be able to complete this. Unless you have 2 valid teams, or at least 1 overpowered character, you're not beating this. You either need 2 good characters or 1 great character to complete this. Because you have to put your team to rest. And then once they rest, they can come back for the next round. So round 1, you have your dream team. Round 2, you have half of your dream team. And round 3, you have your dream team back, and so on and so forth until you complete the challenge and go on to the next one. I have not done the last 2, as you can see yet. Maybe you have to retire your whole bench. And if you have to retire your whole bench, then you do need 2 good characters. I'm not 100% sure yet because I haven't gone until yet. I've invested everything into a knight. It's foolish. Don't do that. Especially if they make me retire my whole team, then I won't be able to complete it. And guess what? There is no one on my team that is as strong as my knight. Period. He is a hyper carry. He completely soloed. Guys, he completely soloed Floating Park B. Completely. 0 effort. The rest of the team literally did nothing. A knight carried them. Hard. So yes. If you're like me, you're probably summoning for a knight. If you want damage, you want to destroy everything in your eyeballs, summon for a knight. If you want to talk about debuffing, you like seeing enemies held this period of time, you like enemies not having buffs, you like giving yourself buffs, and you want longevity, summon for Sotheby's banner. It's very simple. They all have their own, they have their own merits. You can mix and match. Once you get Sotheby, you can hop over to a knight. That's the best thing about it. You can flip and flop the banners. But if you were just going all in on one, that's where the choices come in. But if you're splitting them up and you can get all characters on both banners, mix and match, because I think there's some great mixing and matchings of teams that you can do. And that's what I love about this game so far, is that yes, there are going to be people that drop the optimal videos. It's going to happen. And see, this is the optimal build for blah, blah, blah. Guys, this is that game where you get to do what you want. Do it. I know people love to watch YouTube videos to figure out how to do stuff. I know people love to watch YouTube videos to figure out what's the most optimal. This is not that game. Guys, have fun. Make your team. You do not have... Guys, there are 2 stars and 3 stars in this game that are very useful. So make the team you want, not the team that some YouTuber told you to make. Understand what the characters do, but don't just blindly follow somebody. Play your game. This is not their game. It's the point of gacha games, because you're making your dream team, not freaking Mr. Chad 321's team. You're making your team. So make your team. Have fun, guys. But this video is super long. Sorry about that. So I hope it gave you some kind of insight. You've already summoned. I know. I'm sorry. I'll do better next time. I'll get this out day 1 if I can. I already know everybody's already summoned, but I still want to drop this anyway. It's good insight. Thank you for watching if you watch. Drop a like on the video if you liked it. Comment something down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.